Splitting, merging, and combining data are crucial skills that data analysts must have. They are interesting and critical skills that we must have to be able to manage our data. So let us begin with the first, which is splitting data. What does it mean to split data? Now, when we look at this data set, first entry we have here is NA. We realize that we have the first, which is N, and the second, which is A. Then we have something that separates N and A. And in data analysis, this forward slash or backward slash, they are examples of what? Delimiter. When you look at this data as well, we have examples of delimiter here. Other examples of delimiter are what? Space, that is between Dell and Latitude, between ASUS and ZenBook, between HP and Pavilion, and so on. Other examples are periods, that is between 20 and the decimal after. So you see that we could want to separate these data. Most importantly, data splitting or separation often occurs when we have to separate dates. In this case here, our date is arranged as months, day, and year. In some data analysis jobs, we might be required to just filter data using what? The month, or filter data using the year or the day. But as it is right now, it will be difficult for us to achieve that goal. So what we need to do now is to split this data by what we've just discussed. We are going to look at advanced ways later on in some other class. But for now, let's use the simplest method there is. So we want to separate these now, this date column, which is B, into 3 more columns. That is to say, we need to separate the dates by the month, by the day, and by the year. So in that case, we need to have 3 additional columns, right? While we have the original date column here. So I will right click on the column after date, right? I come to insert and say, I want to insert a column. I do the same again until I have the 3 columns here. So this is the first step you need to take to add 3 additional empty columns. So we will then highlight the entire column B, or the date column, that has the content of what we need to split. We then head to what? Our data tab on our ribbon. Then we navigate to our data tools, then come to text to column here, text to column. We click on text to column. Then we have 2 very crucial tools here. We have the delimited and we have the fixed width. The delimited here is described as characters such as comma or tabs that separate each field, okay? So we will be working with the delimited now. So the delimited is checked. If fixed width is checked, you come back and check the delimited, okay? But delimited should be checked by default. So then we click next. So you can see the various delimiters here, right? We have the tab, we have the semicolon, we have the comma, we have space, right? And then we have the space for others. So this is to say that if you have other delimiters which are not represented here, you check others, then you enter the delimiter in the space available. So in this case, our delimiter is not tab, where when we look at the dates and so on, our delimiter is neither the tab, nor the semicolon, nor the comma, nor the space. So definitely it will be the others. While working on this, I recommend you always take notes at the data preview section here. So now our delimiter is what? A forward slash. And once we do that, you see that our data is splitted by the presence of each delimiter. So we have the month, the day, and the year. All right. So then when this is done successfully, we click next. So this is very important because we need to state the definition rather where our separated values will be inserted. Then you might also want to look at the formatting. Is it as general, as text, or as date, right? But that is not important for now. So we have the months, right? The month, the day, and the year. So what we need to do now is to look at the columns we want to import and those we don't want to import. So the first we want to import is the what? Is the day, the month rather. So I'm going to click on at the top of the preview of the day and then check do not import. I don't want to import this. I'll also come to the top of the year and click on it to highlight it and then check do not import column as well. Okay, so this other thing that is very important here is the destination of which we want to import these now. So we don't want to import it in B. If we do, it will replace what our original data we have here or the original date we have here. So I want to import in C. So what I'll do is that I'll take this out. I can just highlight and take this out. Then while I come to C or C1 and click, right? You see, I have my destination now. When that is done, you go ahead and click finish. So you see that it is imported here. Now, if yours is imported this way, do not panic. It is correct. So all we need to do is to ensure that we change the format, okay? So, but some of you will have it imported clearly. If this happens to you, you come back, highlight the C column, then you go to your home tab, then on your numbers group, you click the drop down and then click on numbers. You see that you have it separated correctly. So, but we want to remove the decimals, okay? So you could easily just remove the decimals, okay? So we have everything correct now. You see, this is March, right? Corresponding February, January, you see? It's corresponding. So let us do the second one for the day. So like we did in the first instance, we will highlight the date column, which is the original date column that we want to separate. We will then go to our data tab on our ribbon, then head to our data tools, then click to text column, then check our delimited, then say click on next. We already have our order checked because we checked it earlier. Look at this, the preview section, then we click on next. So, but we have already imported the month, right? So we want to click here and check do not import. We want to import the day, but we don't want to import the year. So we click here and say do not import. So then before we click finish, we need to change the destination. So I'll take this out by clicking, hitting the backspace, Then I'll pick D1 as the current destination. Now, this is awesome. So I'll go to finish. Remember, if you have it imported this way, do not panic. It is correct. All we have to do is to do what? To change the number format. So to do so, we'll click on the D column to highlight the entire column. We'll go to our Home tab, right? Navigate to our Numbers group, click the drop down and select Numbers. Then we'll do away with the decimals by reducing the decimals, okay? Now it is corresponding perfectly. All right, then we have successfully selected the month, the day, so it's left with the year. So let us highlight now the entire date column. We'll head to our data tab on our ribbon, then to data tools. Then we will click now on text to column to open the text to column wizard, or to convert text to column wizard. We'll make sure our delimited is checked. Then we say next. So now we still have our other point marked where we inserted our delimiter. But make sure that you always check your data preview to see that you fixed or imputed the right delimiter. If you did, you see that the delimiter will be what the data will be separated appropriately on your data preview window. If that is done correctly, then head on to next. Recall that we already imported our month column. So we'll click on the month column to highlight it here and say do not import. We already imported our day column, so we click to highlight the day column and say do not import. So we definitely want to import the year column, okay? So what we need to do now, we need to now check our destination, and our destination will be what? E1, okay? You see it is correct, E1, and now it's correct. So what we need to do is then say finish. You see that it was imported correctly, and we have our year imported. So what we need to do now is to ensure that we give them their appropriate heading. Okay, the heading here will be months. This will be day, and this will be what? Year. You see now it makes filtering easy. If I want to filter by month, I could easily just say I want to see what happened in January, right? I'll just select all and say I want to see what happened here in January. I click OK. So I filtered by month. So you see that you can filter by month. You can also filter by day and by year. So let me clear this filter. All right. Okay. So that is it for filtering.